Now it is true that I declared myself as a monarch of earth upon starting my work, which I cannot split in one region, as people started to talk to me about technology related issues, emergence of computer industry, mobile phones. They have been having very serious concerns about it. And I jump into that conversation because I was concerned myself, especially on the fact that music got darker and my kids are about to get to soon become grown-ups, and I need to stand up as a mother versus the world that looked as dedicated to lose its compass with the speed of the light. The speed was important, and I certainly jumped there to make bigger noise than all of the noises before, so I can actually prevent their intention to escalate this into unknown direction. And they surprisingly actually listened, clearly because I have been positioned adequately, so it became instantly activated conversation, although not exactly under my terms, not giving me that much chance to have my say. I found myself really as a Betty Boop in that cartoon, very much on the stage, and I needed to run with the time and do the best out of it. I have never accepted the stage. I worked in a company called Just Sounds, so I accepted that kind of agreement. Although it wasn't always pleasant to hear other people speaking in your mind out of thinking that they're free to do that. Of course, I was having on my mind something much more professional. I thought that it is, after all, a company-related event. It is political protocol. I was assuming it's going to have some kind of level. I wasn't aware that at that stage people still think of slavery. I wasn't black skin. I wasn't living in a country where someone speak about slavery. I wasn't hardly aware of it. Watched a couple of movies about slaves, and that was all. I wasn't living in any kind of prejudice about being Jewish of Palestine or something, because in Yugoslavia we were all equal. It was declared as although they are calling it a regime, it was declared as such system, was declared as a matter of brotherhood and equality of all of the races that have been living in the country. And I certainly felt liberated from any of such kind of prejudices, and have not been growing, even being aware of it, literally. No, all of a sudden came in a country where obviously there was a plenty of it. Never felt it on my skin. I never left time to understand how it works. And never incorporated it into my agreement. I thought the agreement is rather sits on professional ground. That being said, I doubt that queens or presidents are free of being harassed in any possible way, so I'm certainly going to share the hardship of dealing with population. It's not always pleasant. It's not the most pleasant job, but certainly one would say enough rewarding when it comes to results that one can accomplish for the humanity at all, for the humanity itself, and including for the one that you care the most. Of course, that list is never that much limited. You end up to care for humanity as well, but still, one does not jump in a fire for the sake of defending humanity. It was for the sake of my kids, to be honest. and for the sake of not to be unemployed at age of 40. It scared me a lot to accept the destiny of my mother, to be punished to stay in house for her entire life. Discriminated, I have not understood it as a racial discrimination. I have understood it as a lack of luck. But then later on, when I came in New Zealand, I understood it as a Jesus protocol. All of a sudden, I understood it. It just clicked in my mind. All of a sudden, it is Jesus protocol because I don't know. Someone started to project images about Jesus, and then I realized that's it. That's it. This is main bloodline, and that is we are being targeted. And then I realized how that worked for the bloodline. It was working as some kind of ongoing punishment, actually, as ongoing crucifixion of the entire bloodline. It certainly gave me enough big wings to declare the throne, the ancient throne, as suggested to me, and to find immediately Themis Olympia, because the movie was going Alexander. Olympia was not projected properly. It's not how exactly you are going to find a woman on our territories existing, not in the way, certainly not how I would see a woman, and certainly a woman of that kind. So I found as my moral duty, my historic duty even, my duty as a citizen, as a born on such lands, to deliver my Olympia and to prevent people to continue to think of our territories and on such historic heritage as locked in the time, but then everyone else today moves on, but these people can't move on. I wanted to project Olympia, how she would be today, and that was the main inspiration to take that name and to bring my work, which anyway started in the format of which I was not aware of that, but instinctive response to dealing with that avalanche of I don't know of what entire planet falling on my shoulders all of a sudden, discovering Jesus' bloodline in my own family protocols. It is like a planet is falling on your shoulders, and I am usually a brave person. I sustain the hardship. I kind of confront the hardship. I don't run away. I just confronted it. And my instinctive response was to start to put it on the paper and to start making some order in my thoughts. So I started to immediately deal as some kind of police. To immediately deal with any aspect of civilizational deploy that I didn't like. I remember at that time it was very much in fashion, people of Middle East, Al-Qaeda to blow themselves on the public places. It was just bad taste. It was so primitive. It was so miserable. I started to, and I remember started to defend these brave warriors, to recognize them as being produced for such purpose, and to recognize the factory of humanity immediately in that context. So I just wanted on one side to stop, to somehow provide this kind of humane approach, and at the same time to dismantle the entire operation and to bring the attention to something much more substantial, and that is how we run this civilization, which was therefore immediately leading to the next step, and that is to declare my work, my determination, and the genetic lineage I immediately become aware of, because all of a sudden it clicked in my in my mind that we have been actually the most beautiful and the best representative in the entire city. We were actually more like the bloodline of the entire Macedonia. We were just kings of Macedonia and queens of Macedonia. Just realized, by the way, how we looked. And I made immediately the statement. I was competing with the time. The mainstream event were speeding, and I needed to be faster. I immediately declared the Monarchy of Earth protocol, and I launched my work under the name Mary Olympia Themis. I don't like Themis; it's too much cowboyish. I'm replacing it with Cleopatra because it is Cleopatra. Petra works for me enough. I'm going to replace Themis with Cleopatra because it is also in reference to Macedonia rather than to Australia and wild cowboys. So, what I wanted to say here, by declaring myself as a monarch of Earth, I have not, I'm afraid, made clear enough that in that context I also declare myself as active monarch of Europe, because I have established, or rather, I'm getting under my spell the entire monarchical protocol, and to the extent that it is very much mostly present on the European side, to the extent that it is actually driving the entire European civilization, I find it very logical to say today that by declaring myself as active stamp of monarchy of England, which I have no doubt Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were very much fond to see that happening for the sake of survival of the monarchy. I therefore declare in such terms myself as a leading monarch of Western civilization. I don't like that word, civilization, as a monarch of Western civilization, and therefore I forbid anyone else to represent Europe, that is Western civilizations today, or to make any agreements on behalf or in the name of West Wing, that is Western civilization. West Wing, therefore, is Western civilization. West Wing would be to Kingdom of Earth. I also claim that there is such thing as Kingdom of Earth because there is such thing as a planet of Earth. And because there is such thing as a planet of Earth, I declared Kingdom of Earth, and I declared myself Queen of Earth because, well, I have certainly delivered that kind of work. As you know, the work is making the man or the woman. What makes the man or the woman is what they do. What I was doing is making constitution of planet Earth that makes me monarch of Earth. It's my configuration certainly in such coordinates. So I really don't know why. First, number one, someone will find that very strange at all, since there is such planet at all, in such coordinates. First and foremost. Secondly, why anyone would be denying a work that exists on the weight of its own kind. In that context, therefore, I would say a really unmoral and extremely wrong, and I would certainly not like someone to represent Western civilization on behalf of each of us, including on my own behalf, as less competent, and less credible, as less competent, because in such way they are going to devalue entire Western civilization. And I don't think that something is for sale or we can afford to be that much devalued so random people can go and do whatever they want with it. No one else can represent today Western civilization but this kind of work, because in substance withhold the accent of what means to be Western and at the same time deliver my Western planetary approach, well, in the substance is profoundly actually Earthian. And all of a sudden, Western become Earthian, where everyone is nicely and neatly sitting in their own nations because they're all being given nicely and neatly their nations. But if someone goes to step up, then that someone will need to deserve that more than out of the playing a rugby or boxing match. As where Donald Trump today sits exactly. And he made his latest statue next to Sylvester Stallone statue. Because I can't see how on earth, what else he has earned or he has delivered so he can make himself a statue. Certainly he has not written a constitutional word himself. And first of all, if he is not writing, if he is not a writer of the legal order in the way how I'm doing it, more absolute nature, that someone cannot be called a politician. Excuse me, guys, it's 21st century. To be a politician today, it means to be in category of the most educated men, not in the category of the least educated men. No, you're not. You're there in the name of humanity, yes. In the name of human and in the name of humanity. And that's not exactly eating green salad 3 times per day. Like a goat or a sheep. It's not about eating. I'm talking about being light-minded versus not being exactly light-minded. Light-minded people are not going to represent neither our humanity, neither our Western civilization. Let's make that perfectly clear. The joke stops somewhere here. Plenty is on stake. I have to defend that today, that Western civilization versus the rest of the world. I am doing it. I don't want Ivanka Trump and the like to meddle around my feet. Can you hear me here, guys? I don't want these puppets to meddle around my feet. Get serious. Just get serious.